Hello everyone, this is Scott. I'm going to be addressing a question now that we're pretty much coming to a close on Black Ops 2 as Call of Duty Ghost is right around the corner. We'll be basically saying that one thing that has to change, and that is Call of Duty needs dedicated servers. The reason is Call of Duty has an issue with lag spikes, the hit markers, just a ton of issues, is because they don't have dedicated servers. Xbox Live finds a host, they all connect to that host, and then after every game there's a different host. Dedicated servers are not really used, and it's kind of obnoxious that you have huge companies like this that don't do dedicated servers, and the fact of the matter is that it would solve quite a few problems. On a dedicated server, there are quite a few things that you can actually do. For instance, people can have custom playlists. People who like quickscoping, you can now do those custom playlists a lot easier because they can segment a server for different matches. For instance, if I have a dedicated server and I say, okay, this one's for everyone who likes like sniping only, headshots only, deathmatch, blah 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 blah. They just connect to that server, and then we get rid of then the people that are on other servers, some that may require more resources, will be off on their own. So for instance, one that should use more resources would be I don't know, what's a really good example in Call of Duty? Not a really good example to use Call of Duty for resource intensive, but Battlefield. For instance, quite a few, their maps are huge, and objective-based maps, we're going in, destroying, and trying to blow up buildings. Those things take quite a bit of resources. So pushing those off into smaller servers and then having like team deathmatches on another will reduce server load. And then in theory, you could have more specific groups of that type of server. So for instance, you could have more team deathmatches on the server than you would be able to without it. However, Call of Duty's issue is that they don't use dedicated servers at all. So therefore, you have lag spikes. You have people who will use a lag switch. If you don't know what a lag switch is, it's essentially a metaphorical switch that I could hit and it flood a lot of information. So I'm like either downloading or a lot of information is being released from my router and it's causing a lag, and I could continuously do it to try and either exploit my connection, or I could also do it to a host by sending them quite a bit of information. You also then get the issue of people who will try to use a denial of service attack. A denial of service attack is essentially I have my computer next to me and I'm like, okay, I found this dude's IP and I just sent him a bunch of blank packet files, and the router's trying to receive all of those connections and the router just shuts down because it can't handle all these connections. On a dedicated server, you can actually control how many connections that they send and how much information is being sent to them. Most home users don't know how to modify their router to do that, and also most home routers don't come with something like that. So a denial of service attack is quite common, and you see a lot of them do it. There was one dude who did it to Minnesota Burns, very popular YouTuber, and we figured out how he did it. However, what are you going to do? You just send in video evidence? The fact of the matter is, though, you can't have a game that's this popular, sells millions of copies, and not give them a dedicated server. It's just annoying to the users who gave you all the money, rose the game to the popularity, and they get nothing. They're not giving them any slack. And then something that people are complaining about is this new game, there's DLC already for it. It shows that the developers are more worried about making money than to improve the user experience. So if you were looking for, if they ever do change this, and I'm thinking that Black Ops 3, the continuation from Treyarch, might do it, but I don't think Call of Duty Ghost is doing it right now, which is kind of obnoxious. But the fact of the matter is, when you have all these connections coming in, you need to be able to control them, and dedicated servers make it a lot easier. And now the downside is that people are going to say, well, if they have dedicated servers, when the game eventually dies off, are they going to keep those servers? They could technically shut down the servers and then make it a host-only connection to where you basically have to make the game a dual option. One where you connect to the host, one where you connect to a server. The servers will be better for people who just want to play random matches and just playing with a bunch of random people. And while a more local or game over Xbox Live would be better for those who want to play like against their friends. However, it's kind of like a two-way street here. You can't just say they need to pay for dedicated servers, but then you're playing like World at War, which is how many years old? World at War is literally riddled with hackers. I got into one match. We were all flying. We were flying and we had unlimited ammo, and I think we all had like infinite grenades. So we just went in the air and we just started chucking grenades at each other. And if you're still playing that game, you can't really say that it deserves dedicated servers when it's too old. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure if anyone here gets the new Call of Duty Ghost, let us know how it is, and we'll be right back with more videos. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.